Hi, this is Ed LaFlamme, head harvester from the East Coast. And of course, I'm not on the East Coast right now. I'm at Landscapes 21 in Louisville, Kentucky. And I'm here with my friend, Tyler Jabaay. Tyler, why don't you tell them where you're from?
My name's Tyler Jabaay. I own Priority Landscape. We're based out of Northwest Indiana. We cover most of Chicagoland, and we also have a branch in Grand Rapids.
Awesome. Now, I understand that this is your first conference, and this is a big one.
Yep.
I think there's some 25,000 people here attending the trade show and also attending the different seminars that are going on. What do you think so far?
It's definitely been enlightening. There's a lot to learn. There's a lot of really good people to meet. Learned a lot last night at a networking dinner that I was invited to. Closed the place down, talked to as many people as we could, picked up a lot of things here and there that we can definitely implement right away.
So one of the most important things to being here was what, in that regard?
Definitely the networking was the most important to me, because there was a lot of things that we learned that were simple, but that we can put into action right away. So where as soon as we learn it, it becomes common sense.
And didn't you meet someone that I introduced you to?
Yes, I met Joel Sullivan out of Delaware.
Awesome.
So very different markets. Another young guy, up and comer, and I learned a ton from him because his market is mostly homeowner associations. And we don't do a whole lot of homeowner associations. We're primarily industrial and commercial. And there was a lot of things that we learned from him that seem simple that we can put into action right away, and I'm confident that we can increase our homeowner association sales.
That's awesome. And I understand you're going to visit him?
Yes.
And he can visit you.
We're talking about him coming out by me,
awesome.
and I definitely want to get out by him. For sure.
Good deal. So that's the first thing. What do you say the second thing is you've learned?
The equipment. There's a lot of things that we're seeing that we can definitely incorporate with labor shortages. Hey, how can we find something that might save us some labor, add some productivity that we can get through like a labor shortage. There's also some robotic stuff where the mowers are running themselves, or you can run them manually. That was very interesting, where everybody talks about the labor shortage and hey, how can we tackle that in the future?
Awesome. And I think you mentioned one more piece that you picked up because you sat on my Breakfast of Champions on Wednesday that you learned.
Yes, that was definitely time well spent. There was people from Miami, north side of Chicago, one of the biggest landscapers in the entire country. Frank sat next to me. We talked about productivity meetings of how the guys can bring ideas to us that can save minutes, which minutes on multiple crews turn into hours very quickly. So we're also being compliant by doing a safety meeting and incorporating productivity as well.
All right, so you'll have a separate meeting just to talk about how you can become more productive, right?
Absolutely.
By using your people to help you do that.
Yes, and when the people bring us the ideas and we're quick to incorporate it, that definitely plays into our culture and helps us incorporate it quickly.
That's awesome. So next year, I understand that we're not going to be here. NALP, with the conference itself, will not be here in Louisville. It's going to be in Orlando. Do you think you have enough reason now to want to go to that next year?
Absolutely. I think it's worth the added travel and nicer weather.
But now, wait a minute. It's a lot of money. Is it worth it, all that money?
It's definitely worth it, because the things that you learn and the people that you can network, you're learning so fast, and when you're putting it into action like we are very quickly, it pays for itself very, very, very quickly.
That's awesome. You know, folks, I understand from Tyler that he's been taking photos and sending it back to his people back home with the ideas. Hey, what do you think? What do you think? He's trying to incorporate it right away.
Absolutely. And some guys said, hey, no, we're not going to use that. Hey, great. We'll save the money. But other things that I was a little bit on the fence for, that I'm like, well, maybe they probably don't want it. They were like, absolutely, we definitely want one of those.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So there you have it. Some of the reasons why attending a convention like this is really worth it. I'll tell you, I've been attending for the last 30 years. I only missed last year because of COVID, and that's because it was canceled. So you can see it's really, really beneficial, especially like Tyler said, the networking and people you meet. It's just incredible. So there you have it. Ed LaFlamme, head harvester from the East Coast. And I want to thank you so much for being with us here today and sharing your info with our friends.
Absolutely.
Yep. Take care.